I mean, what's your opinion about New Year's resolution? Or do you agree with me in terms of like the times and days and months and years? It's a social construct, really.
Okay, I'll answer that. The hippie within doesn't
Yeah.
agree with any of that, okay? But the practical me realizes that it's useful,
Yeah.
that time, we need it. It's a societal thing, but hey, we live in society, so we
Yeah.
gotta work with it.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that. Um, New Year's resolutions. Look, how many, just a question to you personally, Ty, how many New Year's resolutions have you made and stuck with?
I don't think I've ever stuck with a New Year's resolution before in
Yeah,
my life.
yeah.
I actually don't think I have ever.
Statistically, only 2% of people will stick to a New Year's resolution. And the reason being, right, we make the same ones year on year, right? And 2 weeks in, we're gone. And what happens with it is, okay, so just to try and explain this, see, we make a New Year's resolution kind of based on a part of ourselves that we dislike.
Mm.
Okay. So say for instance, you have gotten into the habit, because our lives are based on habits, of staying up late, binge watching Netflix, which so many of us are doing during this pandemic, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
You're binge watching Netflix, it's 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you're sleeping until 11 o'clock, you're skipping breakfast, you're slugging around, and it's starting to affect up here, because that's
Yeah.
what happens, right?
Yeah.
So you say, right, January, which is the ultimate Monday, let's face it, and I
It
don't think
is. Sorry, I think I lost you there. No, it's good.
anything on a Monday. Yeah, don't start out on a Monday. Tuesday or Wednesday is fine. Just pick a date. Don't say Monday, because you're coming off the back of Sunday, okay? So don't start anything off the back of a holiday, okay? So because you're setting yourself up for massive climb. So we do this, and we might indulge in the bad habits then through December. Sure, I'll just have an extra tin of roses. Sure, January's next week. I'm up at 6 a.m. running 5K, and we indulge ourselves further into the bad habits to only hit the ultimate Monday with all of these grandiose plans off the back of a blowout. Okay, so we're already setting ourselves up for a massive climb and a failure, really. So we may do it. You may get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You may do 5K. 7 to 10 days in, you go, I
Yeah.
can't do this anymore. And you crack and you break. And what do? You reinforce what you were already telling yourself about yourself when you made the plans. I'm lazy. I've lost the run of myself. I'm this, I'm that, la la la. You make the New Year's resolution. It's too big. You can't follow through with it because, and then you reinforce yourself. So just to explain what habits are. So habits are automated rituals that we have to simplify life. So you wake up in the morning, you don't go, will I brush my teeth today? You just go in and you brush them, and it's automated. You don't even think about it. And you may, if you're familiar with, like, obviously big execs like say Mark Zuckerberg or the late Steve Jobs, they would wear the same clothes. Well, not the same clothes, but the
Yeah.
same the same
Style.
looking outfit
Yeah.
every day to negate that decision, because you've only a certain amount of decisions that you can make in a day. Interestingly enough,
Yeah.
so whatever. So you create habits or rituals so that you leave decision making for bigger things like what to have for dinner, or some creative pursuits. So that's what habits are about. But when you're making New Year's resolutions and stuff, your habits, if you practice them enough, become behaviors. Okay. And behaviors are actually ingrained in your psyche, and they're like wired into your brain, and they're a lot harder to break. You can't just command that they stop. Like, okay, so for instance, like, you can definitely just stop watching that extra episode on Netflix till 2 in the morning. You can definitely stop that. That's a habit. But the sleep patterns and the eating patterns that you've picked up because of that aren't as easy to break. So we set ourselves up for too high of a task. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
With
Yeah.
these New Year's resolutions, and then we fail, and then we beat ourselves up about it, and we reinforce that I am fat, I am a failure, I'm not that kind of person, and then you believe that, and because you feel like, oh well, sure, you may as well just eat the tin of roses then, because that's who you are. So that's you're identifying as that person then. Does that make sense?